Hello, my name is Wendy. Please allow me to share my experience facilitating the Healing Behind the Heart Caregiver Support Group meeting. 10 care companions who exhibited characteristics of mental and physical exhaustion attended this workshop voluntarily. On Saturday, December the 6th, 2025, attendees arrived promptly at 9 o'clock for a 2-hour session held at the Vernon G. James Research and Extension Center in Roper, North Carolina. Each attendee routinely supports elderly parents, friends, or loved ones on a daily basis. The training was arranged for a graduate level group dynamics course assignment through Liberty University. The training was voluntary and open to the public. The heart and the purpose of the training was to give caregivers more than supporting information. It was to provide a lifeline of encouragement, practical strategies, and a safe space to connect. In pursuit of the objectives, I followed Forsyth's guidance in his 2019 text, Group Dynamics, and remained committed to advancing its impact through thoughtful engagement and careful implementation. As our text author Forsyth recommended, the meeting began with a review of the agenda and introductions. The group agreed that what was shared in the room remained in the room, which helped establish trust and confidentiality. As the group, we established ground rules and set the tone for everything that followed. For example, there were no sidebar conversations, and everyone's opinion mattered. It was not about coordination alone. The ground rules created a safe and respectful environment where participants felt empowered to engage. Following Forsyth's example, an icebreaker activity was used early in the training. A toolbox metaphor encouraged participants to feel more comfortable and to build trust, pun intended, and set the tone for collaboration. As Forsyth explained, effective group leadership involves skills such as linking, cutting off, and drawing out members. An example was, there was a caregiver who explained her level of stress. So I linked it to another caregiver's example of feeling isolated and therefore making the connection with one another and building unity. At times, I had to derail sidebar conversation gently to keep us on task. I also practiced drawing out the quieter members by asking open-ended questions. Throughout, I used reflection, clarification, and summary to validate contributions and to ensure further understanding. Therefore, participants actively engaged, asking questions and sharing personal challenges as we discussed the 3 main topics: advanced directives, in-home support, and social services resources. The group's level of engagement was strong. While some members were initially hesitant, the icebreaker and norm setting encouraged openness, and by the end of the session, all the participants had shared meaningfully. Reflecting on my role as a facilitator, I did pretty good setting norms up front and emphasizing confidentiality and creating a safe environment. As Forsyth noted, that established explicit norms early helps prevent misunderstanding and re-encourages group ownership. I saw his vision come to realization with this group and during this training. The icebreaker was effective in establishing connection and aligning with the toolbox metaphor. I also felt confident in my use of active listening, summarizing, which helped participants feel heard. However, one challenge I encountered was pacing. The advanced directive discussion ran longer than planned, leaving less time for in-home support and resources. As Forsyth reminds us, leaders should hold and deepen focus when emotionally dealing with topics that can cause upset. And I realized I moved too quickly at times instead of allowing space for deepened processing to occur. In the future, I will summarize more frequently and manage time more carefully to balance content and interactions. Overall, this experience reinforced Forsyth's point that group performance depends on clear goals, structured agendas, and effective leadership. The group successfully engaged, allowing care companions to receive and understand resources and to validate their experiences. The most important takeaway was that flexibility and attentiveness to group dynamics are just as critical as the content itself. In future groups, I will enhance my skills in pacing, summarizing, and intentionally allowing Forsyth's techniques to unfold in my meetings. I cannot conclude this presentation without sharing wisdom from the Apostle Paul. Carry each other's burdens, and in that way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Here, Paul reminds us that by supporting those with extra challenges is part of living out Christ's command to love. New International Version Bible, 2018, Galatians, chapter 6, verse 2, page 1479. In conclusion, by acknowledging each voice, bearing one another's burdens, and supporting growth, a facilitator leadership is not just a skill, but a form of godly obedience and service. Thank you for your time and attention.